What up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Matt Wyatt, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on the new Gareth Edwards science fiction epic film called The Creator. I went to go see it last night. It was one of those movies that I was really looking forward to after watching the first teaser trailer. I didn't know what to expect going in. I mean, I knew it was directed by Gareth Edwards, the man who made the 2014 Godzilla. He also made Rogue One, which I loved Rogue One, even though that the majority of the film, that some of them were done by reshoots and was done by Tony Gilroy, but most of the stuff that was done by Gareth Edwards was brilliant. And I wasn't a big fan of the 2014's Godzilla. I thought it was a very underwhelmed. There's some good stuff in it, but it was just not as good as I thought it would be. So I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know what to expect going into The Creator. And now, in case you don't know what this movie's about, this is about the take place in the future where now the war between the human race and in the machines of AI are have been at war for like 15 years because from what the humans told everyone that the AI had have detonated a nuclear bomb in Los Angeles, and all the humans have been doing is been hunting down every AI on the planet because they were supposed to be built to protect us and they betrayed them. And now it's telling the story about John David Washington's character, who is an ex special forces, who is tasked to hunt down the architecture AI, and because the architecture AI is developing a super weapon that can end all of the war of mankind. And once he comes across a super weapon, and turns out it's a young child, a girl, then as you get into the movie, you start to see a different side of the AI that you have not seen before, especially that you start to see the character growth of relationship between the little girl named Alpha and John David Washington's character. You start to see a different side of them that you haven't seen before, and you really start to see the humanity of them that you did not expect, because all they ever seen is that they're cold, emotionless, they don't feel anything, that's all in their program. But really, they're not as what they seem. They're all about not ending mankind. They just want peace. They just want to live free and coexist with the human race. But the humans do not want that to happen. I was very impressed by this movie after coming out of it. I thought it was fantastic. It does have a little bit of a culmination with a little bit of a Dances with Wolves, Blade Runner, what else? District 9 and Terminator and all that stuff. It had a lot of influences from these other pop culture science fiction movies, but it never tries to like do a copy and paste and try to be so obvious and be too on the nose. It still let it be its own refreshed original story that we haven't seen before, even though that there were a majority of the stuff that have been done before in a lot of pop culture science fiction films, including The Last of Us, especially with the father and daughter dynamic relationship between John David Washington's character and the AI girl named Alpha. I thought that the relationship between the two of them was so emotionally compelling. I really bought into it. It never felt forced. I was very impressed by John David Washington's performance. He really killed it, especially the little girl that played Alpha, and I thought she was fantastic. I was so impressed by the visual effects and the CGI, especially the movie that was done on an $80 million budget. They really perfected the CGI. And here's the thing, there are a lot of CGI in this movie, but they're not bad. It's perfection. It's crazy that it was done on an $80 million budget when a lot of these big blockbuster movies like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny or Fast X or the Flash movie that were spending like over $300 on these budget to make it look good, even though that majority of the film did not look good for CGI. But this is just an example that you don't have to overspend the budget to try to make the CGI perfection. You could still make it look good on a lower budget. I was very impressed by the practical locations that they have done. Like, Gareth Edwards can do no wrong when it comes to doing practical locations, making us feel like we're in this world, and the world building was great. The environment was impressive. It's not like overdone by green screens, which I don't even notice that this film was done on green screens for the majority of the time, because if you watch the behind the scenes of The Creator, you can really tell that they really put their effort into shooting some good practical locations, making you feel like you're in the environment with these characters. The action and the visuals were absolutely outstanding. It really is an emotional, compelling story. And like I said earlier before, this is more about the core of showing the humanity side of AI that you haven't seen before. And it's not really about AI. It just really tells the core of how we behave, our human behavior, and how we think and how we act in these situations. Overall, this is definitely one of the best films I've seen all year. And I'm not ready to say that this is in my top 5 or top 10. I still want to see this movie again, and maybe I might change my opinion, but overall, this is a must-see movie. I wouldn't be surprised if this movie does not make as much money because it's not tracking well financially at the box office. But if you're someone out there that wants to have a fresh, original science fiction movie that is not based on any IP, this is one of the movies that you should go out and support. And I'm glad that this movie was done on a one-off story. It never tries to set up a franchise. It ends on a high note. It had a definitive end, and the ending of the film had a great was very poetic. The way that they've wrapped it up was so beautifully well handled. I was very impressed by the Hans Zimmer music score. It was impressive. And there were a couple of negatives that I have of this movie that I wish that they would have added more progression between the two main characters. And I wish, and not that I don't think that the supporting characters didn't do well. I thought they did, but I wish they would have added more development, if that makes any sense. But and there were one plot hole that I was like, why did this character could have done this instead of taking that choice in that direction? I don't know. Maybe that's just me being nitpicking. I have to see it again to see what I missed. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out The Creator. It is a movie that you should go see and not skip out on theatrical release. This is made to be on the big screen. I think you're going to be very impressed. And I know that some people that I've been hearing that a lot of people are getting a little bit triggered because they're trying to sympathize AI, when right now we're already dealing with the world now today with the whole writers and actors strike that they're trying to fight against AI with the whole screenwriting and using actors' likeness for films. But I get it. But I think you got to put aside of that and put the baggage aside and just judge the movie for what it is and going with an open mind. And I think you're going to be very impressed with it. Now, have you seen The Creator? What did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did it really live up to the hype and you thought you were very impressed with it? Or were you someone out there that felt like, no, it wasn't for me and I was a little disappointed. I didn't like it as much. Just jump down in the comment section below and leave me your thoughts. I would love to hear your opinion. If you want to follow my social media platforms, the link tree would be down in the description down below. I'm more active on TikTok, Twitter, Threads, and Instagram. But if you want to follow the rest of my platform, the link tree will be down in the description. And also help me boost my subscriber numbers. I would really appreciate your support. I'm going to keep making more videos, and I'm going to post more daily videos of movie reviews that are going to be more horror theme because we're getting into the spooky season, and I've recorded a bunch of them and I can't wait to upload it. And also go and support the podcast called Small Talk Podcast. It's a Smallville rewatch podcast where we break down 3 episodes each week on Ryan Camp's YouTube channel. A friend of mine is doing that podcast, and I'm a part of the co-host, and I'm also co-hosting with 3D Jacob. And we love doing Smallville. We geek out every week. We break down 3 episodes every week, and then we do the live watch party for the season 1 for the season finale. We just wrapped up the first season, and we love what we have done. We already just uploaded the first 3 episodes of season 2, and we will upload the next episode for this Tuesday. So go on, support it. If you want to find it, the screen will be popping up on my screen any minute by the end of the video. And if you don't want to do that, then you can click down in the description down below, so it'll be easy to find. And I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate your support, and I hope you guys take care.